igama lam ndinguphelokazi, married to the Manavhela family all the way eLimpopo, kodwa from Eastern Cape, ndiyintombi yakwaMdelo, Eastern Cape eGcuwa, originally from Cendane.
My name is Chivizisane Manavhela from Limpopo, in Venda, in a place called Manavhela. Yeah, I know sometimes I get that, but yeah, that's where I'm from.
I met my husband in 2009 at UWC through a friend. Sasifunda sonke, but yena esiya kwi-prayers. Phofu wayesiya kule ndawo usually midnight. And then ndimbuza hayibo kwenzeka ntoni, why are you going every time midnight? You know, yes, I was my clothes on, so bethu 12 uye somewhere then ubakhona into. So one invited this other time, I said, come uzobona apho ndiyakhona. I went there and it was a prayer, and my husband was a leader of the midnight prayer.
I met my wife on campus at UWC. I was a guy leading prayer, and one of these days I saw this beautiful lady, beautiful, nice, tall, slender lady with awesome hair, and I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, there's this thing.
And we became friends, and go 2009 December when I was at home, because we used to chat to mix it again. So we used to chat to mix it, and then he said go December that Pelo, I love you, and that I love you, it felt different. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, no, I want to marry you. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
When I first saw her, she was quite interesting. It was, I think, one of those times when you look at someone and you're thinking, okay. And then as times went by, I realized that, okay, I love this lady, and I would definitely want to be with her for the rest of my life. Then, yeah, you know, us guys sometimes, yeah, a bit of cold feet here and there, but eventually I sent her a message. I didn't say it in words, praise the Lord. She was away and quite far, she was in Eastern Cape at that time. So I sent the message, and then, hey, interview. I don't know what's with the ladies and this question, what do you mean, when you already said what you're saying. But yeah, the question came, and I did respond to the question and made my intentions clear.
2010, he went to work somewhere else, but we continued to chat. Wathi ke wacela transfer, wabuya ke back UWC, but not to study, wayesebenza. So that's when we finalized everything. But okay, we're gonna get married, and as a person came like sindiswe intombi sindiswe, ndamuza into bani mfondini utuzanchata, when is on a plan. And then we planned, but okay, now we're gonna get married in 2 years time. I'm gonna start to save for lobola, and in 2011 I'm gonna send people going bana bayo lobola, and signs njalo ke, and in 2012 sachat.
I loved her, and I wanted her to be my wife, not to just have fun and see where it goes. I don't believe in where it goes. So yeah, that's how I met her at that time. And then eventually, as a man, you know, you have to and so I did that as well. In 2011, took the cows home, and then 2012 we got married.
So what happened is that the guy apparently I planned an engagement, no? So he wanted the fancy engagement, restaurant, and then proposal, and all of those. So Mekengo was at CPUT. So what happened? Oh, I was busy. One of the tests. and then flinging his balloon. And then he's asking me to come over to his flat because we're somewhere. Ne? So, and I'm telling him like, I can't come, yabona, because stress, I need to write this test and then busy and pressurized, no, you must come, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, okay. Then my friend came, watching the no man Pedro, come, let's go to Belleville, we're gonna come back, I'll help you to study and all of those.
Yes.
So go to their house. I'm like, oh, okay, this place is awkward. I tell and that was after and that was I think it was later, about later, 4-5 kanje. Andifika, okay, kwenzeka ntoni? And says wayeseyibhatele ilobola after that. Okay, kwenzeka ntoni? Get bouquet of flowers. And then I'm excited, oh, okay, thank you. Jiggy, now I'm fine on the floor, on one knee down. Will you please marry me? Even though the lobola was already paid, but you know, it felt so special. It really felt good. But kuye utba I ruined a surprise sakhe.
Yes, she did.
But when you don't understand.
No, like, okay, she's beautiful, she's sweet and all. Yo, that day she showed me flames. Like, I had to get divine intervention for her to eventually come. Okay, I had plans and all, but yeah. The thing is, the ring was, I'd made sure that I'll pick the ring when I'm sure that she's gonna come, because I didn't want to have it around and then something goes missing. So, the pressure was because I'm thinking that place is gonna close before I get the ring, because I made arrangements that I'm gonna collect it on this day. So, yeah, because I secretly got the size and all. When we going around, I was actually checking when she was fitting those things. So, yeah. Then, I'm thinking this lady is not coming. Then I called the friend that she's speaking about, that please get this person here. This is what is happening. It's already late for my plans. I'll just settle for something that I will do up in the flat. Just make sure she's here. When you are on the taxi, let me know. Then when she called and said, no, like, we're coming. Then I rushed and walked to that place to collect. It was a quick thing now, because what I had planned was not gonna work anymore. But yeah, I've forgiven her. I think.
You think? Then you must redo it.
Marriage been for me. Couldn't discern it's been amazing. Your first few years, you trying to settle to this whole idea of that single mind of doing things, and suddenly you remember, I didn't report to head office that this is what I'm doing. So that whole adjusting to now, you've got someone, or lapa. It's no longer that thing of texting each other at a distance and then you can do whatever you want. So adjusting to hold that whole setup of staying with someone, it was one of those things that I had to learn. Adjusting to many things, like, hey man, suddenly now you can't just go and buy something. you can't just think out of the blue and say, yo, bonela sofa, I'm going for it. That whole thing, for me, it was to settle. It took a bit of a while to settle to that you know what, you married, you've got someone here, you need to do everything. Like, it's no longer closed casino now. When before you're married, it must be closed casino. Like, okay, how am I gonna play my cards to make sure that when she comes, everything is in place and all. But now it's, how are we gonna do it together? So for me, that was a challenge for me to play open casino, because I was used to closed casino. Like nobody should know what I'm doing, nobody should know what I'm planning, nobody should know what I have. And then I think for me that overcoming that was an uphill. But yeah, thank God, through my wife's love, those shouting here and there, yeah, all those, but marriage is beautiful. Our marriage has been beautiful. It's been amazing. Given a chance to marry again, I'll definitely go through the same, just maybe improve on the whole thing again. But it's been an amazing journey, I must say. God has been faithful. So if really one has to say how marriage has been, it has improved my life. Apart from just being called husband, but there are certain things that you wouldn't have achieved all by yourself. There are things that I was not even thinking of doing myself. But after getting married, with the wife's wisdom, yeah. So for me, really, my life has completely changed for the better. I'm a better guy than I was before 2012. I'm a better man. And each year I learn more, I grow more. We grow more in love, more in understanding one another, building towards the same goal. So for me, marriage has been like that. It's exciting to be married, guys. Like, it's beautiful. Knowing, that time when you're not married, when you have to go after work, you're thinking, okay, where can I start? Uzuli said I tried to find places to go, but now, I just want to go home because I know my wife is there, or just rush home, to make sure my wife comes, everything is set. She comes in, she's greeted by a cup of coffee and all that. It's, for me, that whole thing really has, I don't know, I think I can go on and on.
Okay, umchado, it had its own challenges, but I always say that marriage is a ministry. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to be patient with this person that you're married to. You have to have extra patience.
Why extra now?
You have to be, but when you have to be patient. You must be a patient person.
Yes.
You who is selfless. Because one, for instance, we both are from different cultures. Venda and Xhosa, we do things differently. That one is a showcase. We do things differently. We were raised differently. So umchado from 2012 has been challenging but exciting. Learning to adjust, learning to compromise, learning to in love languages zakhe, and now you're learning my love languages. Sometimes it's really overboard, but because you want to understand usuka ndawoni na, then now you learn to adjust umve. Without, because ngamanye amaxesha ukuqonda uba umuntu uyathetha, but man, what are you trying to say? Ngamanye amaxesha even ii-emotions zakho there's ba high because of le nto yenzekayo okanye le nto umuntu ayithethayo. But now what I've learned is that we are both imperfect, but we're imperfect for each other. See, utando lwethu has, I would say, it has made us to develop ourselves more. And I learned umchado as basihamba, because I'm from a family apho I don't have a background of how umchado bayinto enjani. Yabona? So I learned ke ngokumchado as ijeni ihamba, and through friends, xa ndinengxaki ndihambe ndiyocela uncedo ebantwini, through izinto that we watch, we like YouTubes, like amacebiso esifumene ebantwini. Not that onke ayasebenza, but ayasinceda ekuguideni. So umshado has been a patient journey. I learned to be patient. I learned bana ngamanye amaxesha you have to put another person first before yourself. You must understand lo muntu wakho bana, babe, what are you trying to say? Where are we trying to get to? Uyabona? Umshado has taught me patience. Okay, so let me answer because wow, if phones, number one, the basic thing as your problem emshadweni, ne? But by problem when umuntu does no longer fulfill their duties or does no longer spend ixesha with family, ne? All the time usefoni. Omnye mhlawumbi is too much on the social networks, and the other person ungena manqapha. So if the challenge comes when kungekho rules that have been set, even though it's not like rigid rules to say into bana ngo 9 o'clock sibeki phones phansi, we focusing on each other, but if man sitobana a person noba sipina, we were at the restaurant, the person is answering WhatsApps or is responding to comments or with social medias. So it becomes then a challenge. Then it leaves the other person feeling, okay, now I'm competing with the people that I don't even know. So I think for me, what's very important is that we, even though we cause rules that says that now we need to stop with phones, because you cannot control that. Sometimes who needs your attention at a particular time, so at that time. But the challenge only comes when like every time a person is here, every time a person is here on the phone. So that is where the challenge is.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think if phone only becomes a problem when one is completely consumed into it, and it's easy to be consumed, because sometimes it can be a very interesting post that is there, and like everyone is going, you're going, and eventually it's late at night, somebody else falls asleep, and then wow, you've still like uvuke late, still I think it's those kind of instances that makes it very unhealthy in a marriage, because I just don't have a picture of someone just going on and on on social media and stuff. No time to cuddle, no time to like hold each other as a couple, fall asleep in each other's arms and stuff. But you're falling asleep, well, I think in other instances it can get worse, to fall asleep typing. But you're married, instead of enjoying that beautiful quality time with your spouse, you always commenting, posting, doing things. And I think when you're consumed like that, it can create problems, because one person, either the husband or the wife, is gonna feel neglected.
Yeah.
And once neglect kicks in, then you're gonna be dealing with unnecessary problems that were not there, that are created by these things. Then suddenly you're gonna need counseling for into elula, So I think personally, if you are consumed like that, then it becomes important that both spouses can just say, what, let's agree that 9:30 is the last time anyone has a phone, or let's agree that when we get to the bedroom, let's put the phones at a distance, switch off data, so that no notifications gonna come in. Can you just imagine you holding your wife, you're just having a beautiful conversation, telling how beautiful she is, then bam, a notification. You leave that, you go to attend that. Those are the kind of things that can be problematic. And definitely there's going to be suspicions, then definitely you're going to be dealing with all the insecurities that don't even exist, just because you are consumed. So I think as much as it's nice and it's good to do business, to do church business, to do personal business on social media, one should have that restraint to say that, you know what, I am not going to go all in to a point where I don't have time for my wife or I don't have time for my husband. You know, I think for me that self-control should be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are pastoring at Langa Christian Church. So we started leading the church in 2016. And from there, it was, for me, it was it was a shock. Not that it was a shock, because I knew that we do have a call of God upon our lives, but I didn't expect it to happen so soon. I did not expect it to happen so soon. And so from 2016, when we started to lead, obviously now things have changed. I'm no longer Upelo who's just ushering and now I have to be the leader, a leader your mama. And honestly, it is challenging, or it was challenging. I think it's better now because people are used to me, and siyakwazi siyafikeleleka ebantwini, both abantu abadala and also the youth, I would say. But it's challenging because as a person, you have never went through them. So now, it's either uzamnikeza impendulo ngalamzuzu okanye kufuneka uyothandaza and ask God for wisdom on how to respond and assist lo muntu. Uyabona? So i-challenge kum has always been, ndiyakwazi ukunceda na the next person oza nengxaki yakhe, and are they satisfied with ihlobo endimnceda ngalo. And ndingumuntu ke mna ke, if andikwazi ukunceda, ndiyakwazi ukuthumela to another person endicinga ubana mhlawumbi angakwazi ukunceda. So the transition, it was not easy. What I love about LCC, firstly, they never put pressure kum as bana ngoku kufuneka into bana ndibe ngulama unesidima mamfundisi, you know, all of that. Because I used to usher, and even today I still usher, because I believe it's a call that uThixo ndibizele yona. And on top of that, khange kubekho laa nto bana ngoku andikwazi uba iitshomi zam ezi that I had, they're still my friends even today. Zange nditshintshe ngokufuneke ndibe like i-level lobana ngoku ndikulevel omamfundisi. Uyabona, zange ndibe nayo lo pressure. I think for me, into yoba ngumamfundisi is just a matter of serving where I am needed. It's not a title that I'm entitled now to mamfundisi and people must see me as mamfundisi, to a point that I feel awkward xa abantu that are outside LCC abandibiza abantu ngumamfundisi. Like ndisazibona ndingulawutana umncinci, uyabona, but obviously the responsibility has changed, uyabona, and I act ke ngoku according to that responsibility. But anayo laa nto yobana ndingumamfundisi ngoku xa kufuneka kutye kufuneka uqale kum, xa kufuneka kutye uyayibona. And there's nothing wrong kubantu abenza abane-amaberas and all of that, but kum, this is how I am. Yes. The service that uThixo andinikeze yona ndisayenza nanamhlanje.
On your side, take me through the journey and you becoming umfundisi and being umfundisi. Like, why bathini? You knew that you had the call of God, of course, and how have you accommodated into becoming? Because when I always knew on your side, so how did you accommodate your wife, and how do you still accommodate your wife even now?
Yeah, okay. I think for me, ministry journey has started a long time. I was still back home about what they called ministry, to do ministry work. And so when I came to Cape Town and then started studying, it's something that was confirmed, over and over. So it's been an interesting journey, especially when dealing with youth on campus. It was a very comfortable setting, because I'm dealing with people my age, some younger than me, obviously. So the ministry was amazing on campus. I adjusted very well there. Leading the midnight prayer for a long time. I've grown a lot in ministry then, and I think it was preparation ground actually for something else. When the church didn't have a pastor anymore, when the elders of the church were busy doing the roller coasters and planning, who's gonna do what, who's gonna do what, I was one of the people that was planned. It was nerve-wracking, because firstly, I'm not used to this type of setting where you are dealing with abantu abadala, like old people. I was used to the youth. Then boom, hey, suddenly I'm getting a call from the elders that say your name has been written in the books. You are now being invited to pastor the church. It was nerve-wracking, I must say. It was a shock. As much as I knew from 2002 that I'll be appointed to pastor a church. So when it's happening, I was taken back to, at that time, when I was writing down my vision. My wife has been supportive, and I know that she loves serving behind the scenes. She loves that. She loves ushering. She loves doing things where she's not seen. So I don't pressurize her to preach. I don't do that thing that, no, you must preach as a pastor so people must see that you are a woman of God. You are on fire here. You know the word and all that. I know she knows. I know she knows the word. I know she prays. So I don't put her in a position where she has to prove a point. She doesn't have any point to prove to anyone. She doesn't have to do anything that she's not comfortable with. Even when she has to go to the pulpit, we negotiate, and it takes time to do that negotiations. Go out, have some dinner somewhere, try to marinate that heart. But there's no pressure for her. I don't do that to her, because I don't want her to be uncomfortable, because when she's not comfortable, it's gonna be an uncomfortable journey for me, because she's like a pillar. As long as she's comfortable, she's fine. I'm also okay, So it's been that kind of journey. It's exciting, although it's challenging. I'm growing into it, and we're growing into it together as well. Being called parents, hectic stuff. Now suddenly you're dealing. You're not like dealing with someone who's lazy to study. Just say, hey, go to the library. Now you're dealing with issues of life. You're dealing with family issues. You're dealing with bereavements. You're dealing with weddings. You're dealing with marital problems. Some of them you've never encountered yourself. You're dealing with a whole lot of things, and I just thank God that God gave me this kind of wife. She's a perfect fit.
Bentshile into yobana different, ne? Xhosas and Vendas, they are different. I remember when after umtshato, because thina zange sitshatele ekhaya Eastern Cape, satshatela eVenda. So mama ke ngoku beze namadakhi nayo yonke loo nto leyo. Hey guys, izinto zi-different. So now after umtshato, now mama ke bapreparation kwabayahamba bakhuphe ko ngamadakhi everything. Hayi ke mama bathetha nomazala wam, nangakamadaka lo funeka uphelo simkapa simnxibisile funeka ahlale phaya ekhukweni yabona ke funeka into yobana ahlala apha for 3 months yonke kwenza into yobana abe ngumakoti walapha. Umazala wam, first thing that she said, I was like, okay, kokuqala uphelo ngumntana lapha, ngomakoti ngumntana lapha. 2, asizinxibe izinto nizangazi. We can go home with them, we don't wear amadakhe up. And Mom was like, no, and my uncles were like, hayibo Johnny. I was like, no, she's gonna wear her normal things. And ngumntana lapha, akho nto into yobana ufuneka avuke ngo-5 prepare ishiti, sivuka ngo-9 apha. To a point into yobana, okay, obviously nam because ndinentloni, ngo-5 baby ndifuna uvuka ke nam nto olungisa izinto. Once ndivuke umama uyandiva and afike, no phelo cela ubuyele erumini, zawuxela xa funeka uvukile. Akho mntu, ayikho laa nto yobana ungumakoti funeke wenze uvuke ekuseni ubilise amanzi ungathi kuselokishini ngathi kusedorophini, because everything is here. Uhanjwa kuyokhiwa amanzi, like amanzi alapha eyadini, yonke into kuphila ungathi kuselokishini. And the other thing, I remember my first year sigoduka ngoDisemba, ugirl ke uqonda ubani, okay, zawushiya ibhulukhwe ke ngoku funeka ndiphethe isiketi. I think I wore my skirts, for 2 days or 3 days. Dabis, Phelo, come my baby. come. My mother-in-law used to say, my bebeza. He's a my bebeza. When's the canton? Did you with what, ma? Uta Anne, I've noticed you. Ever since you got here, you're wearing your skirt. John, can you go and get your jeans, or must you go and do shopping? Because also full of money jeans up. Unliba yena o Capri, no shorty and all of that. And for now, you can't look older than me. So akufani nase Eastern Cape. Ayikho laa nto yobana ngomakoti yoshema abantu baphayana, they are so sweet. They are so sweet. My father-in-law was like, yabona ke, telling my husband about, awusiza apha ungakulenguze wedwa, because nibabini ngoku bantwana balapha ngoku bayi-3, nguwe, ngumyeni wakho and my sister-in-law. So it's 3 of them. Xa ubuya, telling him iyayalwa. Xa ubuya awubuyi wedwa, funeka ubuye nophelo. Yes. Funeka ubuye nophelo, because uba ubuya wedwa funeka uphindula ujikwa ngiyomlanda eza apha. They are so sweet.
Like,
they are so
okay,
sweet.
when I'm in Eastern Cape, I'm like a king. Okay, I'm the king. Like, no one makes a mistake. Yo, like I'm very protected. Like, Mama is super protective. She makes sure, even if Dad's gonna want something, she immediately comes in, you know, and just remind them that so yes, I'm very safe. Yo, like, you know, that whole thing, like it's a new thing. Like to get to a place, like that's my first time to encounter that actually. Like so much meat comes, but I know you decide what happens with this meat. And I'm thinking, I'm actually with all this meat alone. Because like back home we maximize in pap,
Yeah.
and minimize in meat. But in Eastern Cape, hey, betuna.
The other way around.
Yo, like guys, I thought I've seen meat, ne? Until I went to Eastern Cape. Yo, I've never seen so much meat. So, yo, but yeah, I mean, I love it there because I'm treated very nice. I feel special when I'm there. Eastern Cape is beautiful. I love the natural escarpments, the beautiful mountains, and like I can see the beach from, you know, you wake up to the sound of water, you know, all that, you know, that sea view, just standing in front of the door, seeing the ocean there. It's beautiful. Like driving is not so beautiful, but yeah, like it's a beautiful environment. I love it. The family vibe, it's great. You know, when it's time to just sit sit and talk, laugh. Kuyaphungwa ke Eastern Cape. Yo, guys. Like, you know, you ask myself when you see like tins of milk and large sugar bags. Now they drink tea and coffee. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I don't want to sound spiritually dramatic about it, but yeah, I want to like, I think for me, she stood out, just the way she was. She stood out. She was just different. She was completely unique, and I got to that point where I did not see myself without her. That's when I knew this is the woman I want to spend the rest of my life with. Like, I did not imagine any day, Jay, like in the near future, ever progressing without me being with her. That's when I knew that the way I'm feeling, this is definitely the one. Yeah.
When I remember, obviously would attend prayers, and then they will come to my room, and then we'll cook for them and all of those things. But I know most people will be like, contingent and whatsoever, but one thing that was consistent was the dreams and the visions that I would have with me and him. Maybe sime like phambi kwabantu abaninzi okanye sebhasini or setrain, but we'll always be in front and we're together holding hands. And I used to ask myself, okay, what's happening here? And then I would go to some of the guys by esikolweni and ask them, guys, if a person is doing dreams ezinjena kwenzeka ntoni, and then they'll interpret, but ayingekafiki laa nto kumntu obana, oh okay, my heart is going cuckoo cuckoo now for this guy, you know. But I think when he said, I love you, it's like it was a different I love you, like it had a deeper meaning. We are born, so that's when I knew, Bana, okay, this guy is the one.
And I swept her off her feet.
Yeah.
Mamdand, Madlomo, so Peach or Yim. I love you, and I intend on continuing to love you, to cherish you, to take care of you, to look after you, to make sure you continue to glow and make you blush and turn purple daily. You are my sweetheart, you are my top deck, always, any day. I thank God for you, and I vow to continue to be a good husband, to continue to grow, to learn to be better, so that I can be better for you, and eventually be the best that you have. Make you happy, make you shine, make you have a stressless life, you know, when you come back from work. This is my commitment to you. I commit to continue to doing this and be an awesome father to our children, even the ones that are still gonna come by the grace of God. Hallelujah. Yes, I love you so much.
I love you. I always loved you, and I'll always love you. I love how you take care of us. I love how you look at me and then you make me blush. Kuyo yonke into that we've been through, one thing that is always with me, luthando that I have for you, and the love that you have showed me. I vow to always be that wife that is supportive to you in the ministry that God has called you for. My prayer is always to see you succeed in everything that you do. I want to be that wife that othi even zonganiboni uyazi into yobana my wife is always there for me. Even sendingekho, uyazi into yobana your wife is there and praying with you and for you. I love you so much. Yes, you've been through a lot, but my love for you always remains.